Hello and welcome to, I guess, a gameplay VOD review coaching session, or something like that. We haven't coached in a while. We haven't had many VOD reviews. Actually, we haven't done a lot at all on this channel. I hope the game noise isn't too loud. So I thought, why not start with something simple? Good old VOD review from the best at the game, Korean challenger. Let's see what they're doing. Let's see how the games are developing and, you know, go off of that. Next gameplays might be a little different. VOD reviews might be a little different, but Prowler isn't being talked about enough, and Rek'Sai is not being talked about enough, especially in anything remotely below Master. Now, obviously the biggest change to the game, as we head into our, this is the first VOD review I've done. Rek'Sai, where do we want to begin? We still want to begin red side. You might remember FA Natalie, if you do any sort of Korean high elo scouting, this is a very common name to see in the scene. The Rek'Sai's name, couldn't help you. No clue. Very unique name, but it's not one that I've seen at any great length. See, my problem with starting red side without a leash is this is fantastic for your laners. Jace gets to go top lane. It's, of course, Korean Jace, so that means, you know, it's not NA or your EU Jace. We've got here a Sylas versus a Lilia mid. This is something I'm seeing a little bit of. I don't think it's that good objectively. And then, of course, on this side we have Thresh Lucian. Has there been a more popular bottom lane since 2013 when he was released? And yes, it's been that long. No idea. Probably not. The problem I have with this start is that Kayn can cheese you. And I understand the nature of leaving this ward here, okay? I understand the nature of it. And of course that I'm enlightened, and we have the timer 66 seconds left. If you're going to do a full red side clear, now in Challenger, this is still something I'm seeing, although it's not as common as it was in Season 9 or Season 10, into a level 3 gank on mid or bottom lane, you might be afraid you're losing the blue. But I don't see a universe where a Kayn does a full red side into your vertical jungling bottom lane collapse. I don't know. This is a tough lane to gank for a Kayn very early, and you've got Alistar and Ashe, which means things can work very well, and of course you can punish it before the lantern's out, but the reason for this digression is the following. Are you ready for it? You're getting cheesed. I don't know why you wouldn't just watch the entrance. The top laner should help you as well. If Natalie has a tendency, like in high elo you play against players that have tendencies, you get used to them doing these kind of things, maybe. But I feel like watching the entrance is a little better, but as you can see here, they see each other, and now it's basically a smite fight. And this is the worst thing for a jungle. I mean, you do not want this to happen. The other day I started on my red buff, my top laner goes top lane, fights it out with the enemy top laner, the Shen on the enemy team disappears, and then comes and fights me at the red buff while my top laner is sitting on the tower. This is not what we want. You don't want to be tanking a red buff and fighting it out. So it's going to come down to a smite fight. The aggro on the red is disappearing here, so that is just that is just so tight. I really think this is way too respectful to a possible vertical jungling, ignoring the possibility of being cheesed immediately. It's like you're worried about stage 2 of the threat rather than stage 1. Again, Challenger, they know better, they know what they're doing. I'm just saying for your games, I wouldn't be as concerned about this. I'd be more concerned about the Kayn sort of just randomly showing up and stealing your Raptors. And the worst thing is, if you don't get a leash right, the Kayn's just gonna E on over and can smite it. I made this in the Kayn video. They do this all the time. It's so, for lack of a better word, well, I don't want to use the word because everyone's overusing it, but cringe. You know, like it's just cheese. The smite here is absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfectly timed. Waits for the Q proc to come through. You can only do this on Korean low ping, so very lucky. Rest of us, we're screwed. So what do you do in this situation? How do you take over a game against a hardcore meta champion in Kayn that scales better than you do, and now you're already behind in cadence? It's an absolute huge thing to consider. Well, you got nothing else to do. Straight to blue, right? Literally nothing else. Kayn most likely is going to do your Krugs. You can see on the minimap here, Kayn does the Krugs. This is very normal. The top laner here should be aware of what's going on. the ward should be, there should be a respectful ward placed. I don't know why there isn't. I'm sure it will come through in a second. Challenger levels, they know what they're doing. The Rex, on the other hand, at least got the red, which means you're gonna get 3 from this. Okay? You're gonna get 3 from this. There's the Jace's ward. So this is good. Excellent awareness. You see this, laners? This is what we're looking for. Nicely done. Now, from the Rex's point of view, okay, I don't know, did the Kayn even show up on the ward at all? Let's see. No. Right? No. Okay. Remember, the Grump gives you HP back. Here, now another problem. Just right in the middle of our faces. Mid-prior, because it's a Lilia, spam buttons, okay? Rotates down knowing full well this is what the Rek'Sai does. Look at the difference in Challenger Jungle Laner interaction and in your games in Silver, Gold, Platinum, Diamond, even in Master Tier on many servers. You do not have this level of interaction. The Lilia is doing exactly what the Kayn wants. Give me some knowledge, give me some vision, give me some ability to track the early game jungler. Now, Rek'Sai is going to take this all personally, don't worry. Don't worry. If you're a Rek'Sai main, I know you're feeling the pain from this, but what are your options at this point? We could counter jungle, steal this whole side, dive bottom lane. We could look to gank mid lane. Unfortunately for the Rek'Sai, we know that the Lilia saw us. At the same time, this is still gankable because her ward is in this bush. That's a really stupid ward for a Rek'Sai. A Rek'Sai who tunnels from the side into the bush here isn't going to have E up for the gank, right? And 23.64 seconds. I have to check because the ability haste and the runes kind of change everything. On that note, the runes. There you go. Hail of Blades, Cheap Shot, Eyeball Collection, Relentless Hunters, Unknown Genius, Magical Footwear, and Cosmic Insight. Item Haste as well, and Summon a Spell Haste. It's quite popular still because the more times you can use things, the more useful they are. So this ward isn't the best from the Lilia. The Rek'Sai could still, you know, circumnavigate this little gap in the fog of war. My issue is, you don't know where the Kayn is. Most likely he set up vertical jungling through his chi strategy anyway, so you should be okay, but you have no actual knowledge of what the Kayn is doing. I would assume at this point, at the very least, he's done blue, or at least on the blue. So the Rek'Sai here is actively saying, listen, I'm level 3, I'm not going to outscale the guy, so a vertical jungling farming situation, might as well dive bottom lane because we have CC, because we have trading advantage, because you got a huge cannon wave stacking. Now, you're not going to make this play in your elo, okay? Excuse me. You guys are not going to make this play in your elo. I know that. I recognize that. But why not? You could make that play. I mean, the Jace is TP down with the Akali. Both top laners immediately reacted. The Lilia is rotating down as well, okay? Now, I would suppose, because it's Korea, that the Kayn is going to Eon down as quickly as he can. But there's no reason why you physically can't make this play, because look at this crash. This is something that people don't look at a lot. I mean, you don't need anyone else. Knock up, auto attack into the Q with the Hail of Blades proc. The red buff, give it to your ADC, that's generous. I mean, it's solo Q, you can take it yourself. Is a possibility you try go for 2, but I think at the very least you kill the ADC. It's a very good move. I got cheesed, I got away with it. If you don't get away with it, you can at least do 3 camps. Turn your lane to turn your eyes to the lane. It's just a good idea. You're not gonna outfarm a Kayn, so we might as well look for that impact. Now I'd be worried that Kayn and the Lilia are coming down. You see the tremor sense, here we go, so you should be looking at this if you're the Rek'Sai. Flash knock up into the, well, I don't think he needed much more than the E there. Let's see. I wonder if we got the auto cancel off. I did it quite quickly. Flash, auto attack, QE. Easy, baby. Very, very easy. Nice animation canceling, good use of the Hail of Blades, although it wasn't. It was up. So, excellent. Knock up again. Cleans up the Kayn. Look at this. Look at... this is what I'm trying to talk to you guys about so often. And people always tell me, hey, my teammates, they don't know what they're doing. Yeah, so? There's two things that can happen, right? You go for the dive, and no one reacts because it's low elo or mid elo, and you're free. free dive, right? Or everyone reacts and sadness occurs and, well, I'll play them mechanically. Use your champion strengths, get those kills, be confident in your ability to win the skirmish, and if you don't win the skirmishes, don't hang around, just leave. So that's a really good read on this early game by the Rek'Sai. Nice mechanics to get out there, and goes back to base straight for the serrated Dirk, because as we said, we're in Prowler's Crawl. Now here again, what is your instinctive default for most of you? I'm gonna go get the crab, gonna get the stones, gonna get the chickens, but there's a fight in the mid lane, there's a Thresh roaming, this Kayn now decided to cheese you, and he should be punished for it, I believe. Karma needs to hold true here. Good roam by the Thresh. Okay, good roam, bad hook, very close though, and they're able to kill the Kayn. Beautiful. So, what do we do after that? We got cheesed, we had a good turnaround of events, we now... Okay, if you're gonna roam, okay, this year I decided to rank up with mostly jungle, but then the Master Tier high heal push was with support with my Zyra, so I also like to roam. But this is, for your ADC, a very miserable time. If you're gonna try not to die, I think is the biggest thing here. If you get a roam and a kill, don't overgreed for even more. The Lilia is of course very fast, so sometimes not much you can do about it. But this is not good for your ADC. Not for his mental health, not for his physical health, not for any aspect of his life is he enjoying this moment. For Rek'Sai though, 301. As a jungler, it's on you to absolutely snowball the hell out of this game. Your itemization needs to be good, and your mindset needs to be good. You will not outfarm or outscale a gold drinker Kayn. So, low Lilia on the mid lane, overstaying for some reason, I don't know. Is she though? See how he hovers and waits? Now you look at the minimap, okay, she's running away, good. Okay, Kayn most likely would reset, I would anticipate, and take his red, because he had no tier 2 camps up the Kayn. I believe he came straight down. I can double check though. Level 1. Level 1. Okay, he did his Raptors. He's on his red as I said. So, good job, Brain. It's pretty easy though. And level 1 Krugs. So he has no tier 2 camps up at 5 minutes 18. His experience gain is completely hampered and stifled purely because you decided to make a hardcore play in the bottom lane. And in Korea, as I said, they always rotate to these fights. Especially in the preseason, they love fighting at the moment. So it's a little bit limit testing with the items. It's like an unwritten rule. So the Rek'Sai here is enjoying the bounty of a level 4 Raptor camp, should enjoy the level 4 Krug camp if you were to sequence up. Now, I don't think the Jace is your win con. I think at this point, it's very obvious that this Rek'Sai wants to play through bottom lane. And I always like playing through bottom lane because Dragon Souls are a mental and statistical. They're a mental and numerical edge, right? They give you those numbers that allow you to actually win skirmishes and fights. So ignore the Krugs. This is a common thing now. People just saying, take way too long. Way too long. Let me get the tier 2 Raptors. Let me get the tier 1 Wolves. Let me get the... see that? This guy anticipates from his point of view... wait a second. When was that ward placed? So I'm looking at through the Rek'Sai's point of view. Oh, right. The control ward doesn't say who placed it. It's like time has placed this. It's very ethereal when it comes to control wards in the replays. So the Kayn's gonna do all of this tier 1. Knows the Rek'Sai went up thanks to the gank and the pathing, and will probably assume tier 2 secure into a top lane gank. Hence why this ward by the Akali has been placed. Okay, this is protecting her against any sort of nonsense. Although I think the ward's a little bit. You know, like you could circumnavigate it pretty easily, but it's good protection. So the Kayn thinks, right, if that's the case, let me go and counter jungle and get the tier 2 Gromp, maybe even the tier 1 Wolves. The problem is the Rek'Sai has a great read on the game, knows the Kayn is going to do this. Personally, the biggest difference between something like what I'm doing in this video and how the rest of us plays, we wouldn't be able to necessarily predict this on point. This Rek'Sai is thinking about everything we're talking about, and predicting where the Kayn's going to be. So, stifled counter jungling is one of the most satisfying things you can do as a jungler, because this guy is now absolutely crying. I mean, he can, instead of securing these and then maybe looking for some kind of play here, resetting and sequencing up or down. You know, like he had a few options. But by having his counter jungling stifled, the Rek'Sai now has a huge advantage. This ward is missed, worth noting, okay? That ward is missed. So the Rek'Sai is spotted, and she should know she is spotted. So this is a bit of a mistake on her part. But at the same time, the Lilia doesn't seem to notice either. For some reason. I don't know. Here we go. Still dies. No, doesn't. Just runs away. Mechanics are mechanics. You don't hit everything, guys. You don't hit everything. It's just not effective life. I mean, the Lilia still has to flash out there, which is kind of weird. But I like the mindset here. Get my tier 2 camps off the map. Get the tier 1 wolves off the map. I want to sequence those whenever they're up, so I want to make sure they're as high as level as possible. And the Kayn is kind of screwed. He's also ganking bottom lane here, as I said. He's able to... Let's see, let's just go back in time just to see what he burns, because we were focusing on mid lane. So, he could have made this play before, but he's forced to do it now. He gets hooked straight into the Thresh. He's getting them juicy orbs right now. Healer's used. He's auto-attacking and Conqueror's stacked. He's auto-attacking, he's just getting all the orbs he can. There's no real follow-up. Alistar's too low. They only really burn Flash. Heal. So the Rek'Sai now, what the Rek'Sai can do is just move on directly down from mid lane. So this could be absolutely tragic for the blue team. Why would you go back in? Why would you go back in? Auto attack cancel into the Q. Boom. E is used. And this is another dead Ashe. Can we get something? Hit the Q. Hit the Q. Steal it. There we go. Good boy. Oh, good girl. Excuse me. Very nice. The blue team is playing very randomly. And my point, more so than anything, is that... That's a dragon, by the way. Straight into the dragon. My point more so is that when people complain to me, you know, enemy laners don't do this in my silver games or gold games or platinum games or diamond games, they do it in Challenger. So if a Challenger or Grandmaster Korean lanes are going to play with this level of unawareness, and this Rek'Sai is just seeing it, it's very obvious in a replay to say, oh look, there's a window for a gank, there's a window for a counter gank, there's a window to path. But those windows are all available to all of you in all your games. Prowler's Claw, complete, 60, 80, 21 lethality, 10 ability haste, gives you a passive lethality, plus the dash. You're going to see a few uses of the dash here. We'll speed up now. The early game is a little bit thick in terms of information, but we can sort of get through the rest of it pretty efficiently. Because now you have total control. Rek'Sai Akali killed the Jace. Rek'Sai, most of you in all the coachings will just go to your red buff first. Why? You want 6? Is that it? You want level 6? You're really close to 6. You want it? Yeah, but let's just go kill them anyway. Got flash up, got smite up. Nice knowing you. The ward is fun. Good ward. Prowler's Crawl active. Using the scanner to see her, knock her up in the shroud. Beautiful. Rotate 6. Nicely done. Now, where do you want to go? I know there's no Twitch chat, but in the comments, where do you want to go now? What do you think the next play is? We can fully sequence our Krugs, red Raptors. We can... Alright, look, there's an arrow. An arrow of destiny. He flashed it. Good job, Thresh. But there's no objective. What's the objective on the map? It's the Herald. So don't waste time. There's 2 dead. While they're dead, what is free that wouldn't otherwise be free? Herald. Thank you very much. Let's go. Okay, it's not detected. You're within the pit. Red side always has the advantage on the Herald pit. Blue side has the advantage on the sneak of the, for the dragon. And again, like, the notification pops up. The Herald has been slain. The big bird noise, or whatever it is, that says the giant beetle has been slain. The Lilia shows no interest. The cooldown on the active, actually, I need to familiarize myself with it. 60 seconds, okay. I'm still learning all the cooldowns of everything. Alright. I don't know where the awareness is on the blue team, but that's why I love this game, because the Rek'Sai is absolutely turbo smurfing in a challenger game in Korea. The guy is seeing the map, in such a pure vision. Look at this. Where is Kayn gonna go if he sequenced up to gank, knowing the Rek'Sai is here? Most likely he's gonna say, listen, Rek'Sai could take the Herald, counter jungle my blue, and then defeat me 1v1 because I'm nowhere near my gold drinker, and the Rek'Sai's really, really fed. So I better go bottom lane to get at least what is free. The Rek'Sai says, your mid lane is a bit AFK in the brain, so I'm gonna take care of that, and then I'm gonna take over your Krugs. It's just excellent. The game is slow for the Rek'Sai. This is just one of those in-the-zone games. And so we don't need to make clickbait about 18-kill super smurf games in Challenger because, I'm sorry, in low elo, because we can do it by VOD reviewing them in Challenger. That sentence came out kind of ugly, but I hope you get the point. Why look at... Yeah, I'd expect someone to do this. Prowler's Crawl's active. Sorry. Prowler's Crawl was used. I didn't mean active. Sorry. My brain prepared. Watch this. Watch the Prowler Crawl active. I gotta learn to say that really quickly for coaching. Let me put it in this way. Look here. Misses the Q again. Doesn't matter. Prowler Crawl to get the knockup. This is beautiful in Rek'Sai. Like, I'm not seeing this built enough for some reason. I mean, it is kind of a core item and people are using it a lot. But the people aren't talking about it. That active for a Rek'Sai knockup is so great. And now we have the ult active, so we should follow through. Excellent. I don't know what the Kayn's doing. I think they're tilted. But hopefully you can see how you can translate cheese in the early game into good active pathing, forcing them to play your game plan. Play to the tendency of the elo you're in. And in high elo career, they love to rotate the fights. And if you can force a farming jungler, scaling jungler to be in that arena, you can disrupt them greatly. Bottom lane now dies again. Thresh is pretending he's bad. Lucian translates a 2v1 into a... 2 versus 1 into a 1-for-1. So the Rek'Sai should be able to very easily kill the Ashe here. She might just execute. 2v1 gets a 2-for-0. Don't push the wave there. Let it sit neutrally. Reset. And now again, we've ignored our camps entirely, but we're still only 1 CS down on the Kayn. The Kayn is the pathing. I can't explain a lot of it, but Natalie is a pro player. This person knows exactly what they're doing. The Rek'Sai is just reading everything beautifully. And if these windows are available to a Challenger, in Challenger, they're available to you in whatever elo you play. Directly top lane. Look at this. Now, this is where the vision comes in, okay? I wasn't tracking, I was talking about the bottom lane. And that's the thing. I'm looking at the bottom lane, talking about it to you. This guy's doing the same thing and then sees any small bit of information about the Kayn. Knows the Kayn is going to counter jungle topside. Says, hello, my son. Wait, it's active again. There we go. I love it. I love Prowler's Crawl Rek'Sai. Look at this. Okay. He's on the Krugs, I can tell you this 100%. Oh, hello. Knock up. Wait a second, where are you going? Oh. Like, this is a new world for Rek'Sai. You can use your E to gap close, and then use the Prowler to actually go over walls. Because before the problem was, if Kayn did that, right? If Kayn did that, we'd have to save our E. We wouldn't get there in time. Rotates mid lane, level 5. On the Thresh, Ignite, burns down the Silas. Swifty Boots is just to get around the map quickly versus a mobile jungler. It's a good... You know those games where everything goes right for you, and then the next game you go 0-10 because everything goes wrong? It's one of those situations. But yeah, this is very good. Herald used, we get some plates as well, 4-5 plates on the mid lane. Dragons respawning soon. Prowler used to get gap close. Oh, disgusting. Disgusting item on Rek'Sai. I love it, that's what's in the thumbnail. That's why I'm gonna really drive this home with the champion. I'll go do some testing as well. Secondary looks like we're going for more lethality. There's no reason not to stay on the edge of Night Train and so on. There's just no respect from the blue team. There's no respect for a jungler that's this fed. Their power thing is just lazy. I don't think you want to do that. But at the same time, ladies and gentlemen, remember, Rek'Sai doesn't scale. Remember, when you have this lead and you feel like you are in total control, you can still lose. So adhere to good practices, right? Make sure you are taking the camps, doing what you're doing to shut down the Kayn, secure these objectives. I'm watching bottom lane. Here, I think you should just reset. I think here in this moment, we need to leave. There's a huge shutdown on the Kayn. So, how much gold do we have? 2,900. You have an item. You have an item. So this is not an extended sequence that you want to take. Yeah? This is a bit wasted. Because you're 3 levels up. You've got 3k gold. You can go buy whatever Christmas present you want for whoever you want to buy it for. I'm watching bottom lane here. Lucian is staying out. Rek'Sai is full HP because of the smite and the grump. But you have a lot of power not... What's their vision like? Yeah, you see? Like, he's Rast now, right? Yeah, he got Rast, so he suddenly became a champion. You kill the Ashe, but... I mean, I feel like you lose objective cadence here. Alright. Prowler's Claw. For the next 3 seconds, you deal 15 increased damage as well. Worth noting. I always forget that bit for some reason. I'm just focusing on the dash. I'm forgetting about the extra damage. Flash, Q, Prowler, knock up, okay, auto, into a Q, into an E, was gonna ult, but the Lucian, well, he died and the Lucian managed to grab the kill, so, like, this is just disgusting amount of damage. You've fed the bottom lane here, so this is great, good. I mean, it's GG anyway, right? GG anyway. Okay, so, we reset. Rek'Sai come... too quickly. Okay. Actually... Good item. Getting nerfed. Just so you know. Okay? It is getting nerfed. I believe... It's only the execute on champions now, so... You know, that's... It's curious. I don't think it'll change the usage too much, but just keep it in mind. Normally, you would not necessarily go directly into that. Classically, rather. Classically. Another cleanup kill. I don't think there's much more to talk about this game. Herald is respawned. Kayn is seen on the top side. Look at this. You know, just secure a few camps here and there and then go about your business making sure that they don't have any. Absolutely dominating gameplay here. Complete objective control. Vision is nothing. Kayn was seen. They're just not showing any respect to the Rek'Sai. Just remember, you must close the game out. That's always the biggest thing. In Korea and high elo, they will sometimes just FF. The Qs are funny though, right? Like, this is such a clean game, and the Qs are the one thing that's just funny. Has the ult up. Oh, the damage. Perfection. I mean, it's just a scrappy. They're just running around now. I'm not sure there's much else I can talk about. The main reason I wanted to use this video was... if you get frustrated at the red buff level 1, it doesn't mean the game is over against a scaling jungler. You can still force the action, win the fight, itemize correctly, objective ping pong, dragon, herald, did exactly what he was meant to do, she was meant to do, they were meant to do, maybe I should just say. Yeah, great. Nicely done. Herald fight here is 50-50 if the junglers are the same level, but there's no jungler and you're 3 levels up, so we can look for a nice push. Very nice. I like it. But this is what I'm talking about. The greed, the overstay, this is a throw moment in low elo. Because it's unlikely your bottom lane is disciplined and is 816. Most of the time, they are probably griefing you, right? It is very likely that your mid lane is 021 and your top lane 033. Solo lane difference, by the way. the solo laners aren't playing this game. They're not playing this game whatsoever. It's just bottom lane and jungle. It's twisted tree line and spirit. But this is where people throw because they get caught out overstaying it. You know, they get the kill. They get caught out. They give another 1,000 gold shutdown. the enemy team suddenly catches back up. They don't have an AK gold lead, and if there's a dragon on the map or a baron, you lose it, and the entire momentum switches. So be wary of this. Just note that the Rek'Sai took mid, floated bot, took dragon, should have reset, but died. But after that, went straight down here into the top side to make sure that tower was taken, made a pick, got the herald. There's a logical flow to the towers, to the dragons, to the heralds, to the map mobility, and it isn't on farm. And I don't think or believe we saw her got to Krugs at all. The top laners might have taken it, Kane might have taken it. No worry about the Krugs of the farm. Just make sure that the enemy doesn't get to play the game. Now, as you see here, Drowsy put to sleep. Jace shows up. Knockup still able to kill someone, but dies. Okay? So, the important thing is if you do find yourself in that situation, make sure you try and turn it to the best of your advantage. Your team shows up here. This is great. This is... Silas, good job, man. You were useful. Well played. Hey, more chains. That should be game now. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing else to talk about. Edge of Night comes in after the Collector, and GG. Yep, there you go. 5-0. Good night. Is Rek'Sai performing particularly well for the general elos? No. Can she? Yes. Itemization, Prowler's Claw, highly recommend. Black Cleaver now is also good if you need a bit more tankiness and you want to scale. That Conqueror will do well against tanks. Hail of Blades is very much an early to mid-game choice to snowball. The Collector again to snowball. The Swifties, boots on any jungler if you need to match mobility, good choice. Edge of Night, always good on Rek'Sai. Hopefully it gives you a little idea of how Challenger players can smurf in Challenger, which means those windows for victory are yours as well in your elo. Stay tuned for more gameplays just like this one, I guess, and as always, I will see you all in the next tutorial.